Okay, substitution method. So we have our system. We have 5x minus y equals -4, and we have y equals 3x minus 4. So we already have one of the equations that's solved for one of the variables. So we're going to use this that's already done for us, and we're going to substitute it in. So we're going to use the first one, 5x minus y equals -4. Okay, and we're substituting in for y 3x minus 4. So we still have our 5x, and we are substituting only for y. So let's put parentheses just around the y so that you are keeping this minus sign in front of that parentheses. All right, so minus, and then just the y itself gets substituted. So it's 3x minus 4. And all of that equals -4. Okay, so now when there's a negative out here where there's no number, that's technically multiplying everything inside individually by a -1. So it just means change the sign, change the sign. So our 5x is not affected by that, so it's still 5x. This is now, because of this, a -3x. And this is now a +4. Because we're multiplying by a -1, multiplying by a -1, which just changes the sign, changes the sign. And all of that equals -4. All right. So we have like terms that we can combine here. So 5x minus 3x is 2x. We're going to add 4 because he's still there, equals -4. All right, and then we have a two-step equation. In order to solve this, we need to move the constant over, and then we're going to divide out the 2 from the x. Okay, so this is already positive, so we make them negative to make them 0. What we do on one side, we do on the other. And remember, this is a -4 and a -4 that we are combining. So that means we're adding them together and keeping the sign. So bring down the 2x. This is a -8. Okay, and I'm leaving the x behind, so I'm taking out the pieces of it. So this is multiplying, so I'm going to divide by 2. That makes 1 whole, or just 1x. And divide by 2, and that equals -4. Now we're not done because this is a -4 for the x. So we have our ordered pair right now. We think that the x is -4, but we don't have our y yet. So what we're going to do is we are going to take this -4 and we're going to plug it into one of these equations and see what it comes out to be, and then we're going to check it in the other one and make sure that it works. Okay, so I'm just going to do the easier one that's already there. So I'm going to do y equals, let's see, 3x minus 4. And I'm going to plug in or substitute in the x. So y equals 3 times our x value of -4 minus 4. So y should equal -12. Oops, -12 minus 4. Again, that's a -12 and a -4. So that's really a -16. Okay, and let's double check that it works. All right, so we already know it's going to work here because we literally use this equation to find this. So we know it's going to work there. So now we're going to put them in here. So we have 5. Sorry about the focus there. Oh, refocus. There we go. 5 times -4, right? Minus, remember it's minus a -16. So you have that minus the negative. And that's supposed to equal -4. So let's double check. So this is -20. But remember, minus and negative is really plus, so we're adding 16. And it should equal -4. If I'm at -20 on the number line, and I go to the right toward the positive 16 spaces, will I land on -4? Yes. And if it comes out to be true, then we know that this is, check, the system, the solution to the system of 5x minus y equals -4, and y equals 3x minus 4. All right, now we have, so that's when we have one solution where we have something already done for us. Now, what if we don't? What if we have our system has 2 standard forms? We need to create one into either y equals mx plus b. We can do y, or we can do an x equals. And we want to do the easiest one. I could move this one and then change all the signs, or I could have this guy, he's ready to go for x equals. So I'm actually going to change him. Okay, so that means that I am going to, this is positive 2y, so I'm going to subtract 2y to make this 0. Okay, so this second one becomes x equals negative 2y plus 6, or 6 minus 2y. You could have done it that way as well. Okay, so I am going to plug in this right here for the x in the other one. So it is negative 3x minus y equals 7. Okay, and I'm plugging in for x. So negative 3, so I'm only substituting that piece. Negative 2y plus 6 goes there. And then I still have a minus y here, and that equals 7. Okay, now distributive property, negative 3 times negative 2y is positive 6y. Negative 3 times 6 is negative 18. And I still have a minus y, remember this is 1y, equals 7. So 6y's minus 1y is 5y's. Still have my minus 18, and that equals 7. So now I'm down to my two-step equation. I'm going to move the 18 over here by doing the opposite operation. So I'm going to add 18 to make 0. Add 18 to the 7. What I do on one side, I do on the other. Whoops. So I'm left with 5y. And let's see, 15, 25. Okay, and then I divide out my 5. This makes one whole. And y equals positive 5. But again, I am not done. And remember to put this in the correct spot because you just solve for y. So your y is 5. Okay, so now we need to solve for x. Okay, so let's go ahead and figure out what it is. So let's go ahead and put it into this one. This one's nice because x is by itself, and I can multiply my y and figure out what it is. So we have x plus 2 times my 5, and it needs to equal 6. So some number plus 10 equals 6. So you're going to subtract 10 from both sides to figure out what it needs to be, and it really is negative 4. Remember, this is the x. X equals negative 4. All right, so let's figure out if this is correct. So we already know that it works in this one because that's what we created. So let's do it here. So negative 4 is our x, and positive 5 is our y. So negative 3 times the negative 4 minus, remember we're substituting in for y, so just that one piece. So minus times 5, right? Or the 5 here equals 7. Negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12. And then minus times the 5 here is negative 5. And it's supposed to equal 7, and 7 equals 7. And it worked. Okay, so far we know that that works. Okay, so here's where you have it, where it's already done for you, and you can just plug it in. If you have 2 in slope-intercept form, just choose one to put in for the other. If I don't have it yet, I need to create it, but I can also do it for my x. Up here we did it solve for our y and solve for x. We put in our x and solve for y here. Okay, and then there's one more that if we have something like this, and this is what I started doing, and I got a problem down here. So this one is very similar to the other one, but they both have 5 x's. So I plugged it in for y, and what I noticed was I no longer have any x's, right? So I have 0 x's plus 4 equals negative 4. 4 equals negative 4. That cannot happen. So that means when I get to this point, this is no solution. Okay, and if you were to move these around and end up that you have the same thing on both sides, like 5x minus 4 equals 5x minus 4, then you would know you'd have the same equations, and then that particular one would be infinitely many. Okay, so you have no solution possibility, you have, on the next page here, one solution possibilities, or you could have infinitely many.